I just decided that I was going to share a beautiful story. It's beautiful to me because it really does. It's a testament. You know what a testament is? A testimony. When I was watching the crystal prayer, the Christic invocation, of what I saw that was coming across the screen when it said um, divine right order, divine right timing, and divine balance. The brilliance of a triangle, right? So, particularly as that relates to RH biovoltage factors between negative and plus that cancel each other out, so there's zero, or if you will, the completion of a circuit that is the divine, right, mathematical order, right, and how that relates to implicit trust, the implicit trust of the mathematics, which are the hub tones. That wherever I'm supposed to be is exactly where I'm supposed to be at the moment in which I'm there, which is a completion of a circuit, which is called a felt moment. And the accretion levels as that relates to a capacitor and our sensing levels, right? The level of awareness that we have. How aware are we? How when you're out in the middle of a forest, do you know what's going on out there? Right? Yeah, I know exactly what's going on out there because I'm receiving the information the way that stars communicate to other stars simultaneously, right? Between one point and another point and another point as that relates to 12, 144 points, the spin points, the torque speed in the divine, right, order, mathematical order, and the timing factor, which means you're right on time. You're right on schedule. And a schedule is a water table, which is a matrix table with mathematical operators. So I was reminded, for example, that I got a rainbow communication, and that's called a redirect. You know what a redirect is, right? Where I had intended on going as a course, right? Navigating my consciousness through a consciousness field of more of a genetic field structures of communication between DNA or cellular organization, where I was actually going to head up into Canada and go visit 13th Arcturian White Bear Clan mother, Karen Ann Luke McDonald. And she was aware that I was in Glacier. I was letting her know where I was at, and she was up in Kootenai. Yeah. And so I got a redirect to head to Yellowstone because I got a rainbow transmission. And the way that rainbows communicate to other rainbows, gyrodomes. And so the communication was to get to Yellowstone by 12, 144 on July 5th. My feet were supposed to be in the Yellowstone Lake on July 5th, which is 12, which is 3, right? And so I was there, but I wanted to shed some light, which is the exposure of how that related to the vehicle that I was using to travel to these different points in time in divine right mathematical order, which is divine right timing of divine balance. Because the Ford Explorer that I was using, as you can well imagine, the system has access to the computer box that operates the vehicle, right? And so there were on a number of occasions, right, when it becomes aware of what I become aware of where I'm going, and I've got a schedule to keep, as in keepers of the flames, the flame order, the flame group consciousness order, the cellular organization of fire and ice crystals, to be in a specific location at a specific schedule. So if it doesn't want you to be on schedule, then it's going to run an interference pattern as that relates to what? Divine right mathematical order, divine right timing, and balance. In water worlds, hydrologic, the log scale vector, the acceleration. And so there were a number of things that stopped working or wouldn't work. Now I have to take time out. Oh, time out. The timing factor, the mathematical timing factor, particularly as it related to the electronics that's running the automobile, right? Particularly as it relates to the alternator and the computer box and the error codes and fixing the error codes. I know. And so those are called workarounds, right? In order to be there exactly on time. And I was there right on time. I'm not going to itemize all the little, you know what a sidebar is, right? Whoops. Like, for example, before I got to Yellowstone, okay? This is how cool this is. I'm driving between, where was that, Mama? Well, really Bozeman, or not, back up, Missoula, Montana, and then going to Bozeman, and then taking the highway that goes from Bozeman to Yellowstone, okay? And the alternator quit, the battery, it just dies, okay? The alternator quits, so the battery dies, right? And there I am about 6 miles outside the nearest town. I don't know anybody around here. I end up contacting a lady who lives in Thailand who called a tow truck to come on out and bring me a battery, a brand new battery that would hold enough charge to get the vehicle to a rest stop that I looked at a map was 6 miles down the road. I can make it 6 miles. So when I got to that rest stop, this is just beautiful the way divine mathematical order operates. There just happened to be somebody at the divine right timing who was there at that rest stop, who was a mechanic who had a van, who just happened to be parked next to where I was parked, and said that he would put the alternator in for $100. One. And the timing on that, if you look at the date that I was there when the alternator needed to be put in on a weekend at a rest stop, allowed me to make it to Yellowstone. There I was. I finally made it to Yellowstone. And guess what day I arrived? July 4th, the busiest day in Yellowstone, where traffic is lined up for miles of people, like a parking lot. And so I showed the attendant when I drove up an image. And the image is the image of White Bear Clan. See ya. And so I found a spot. So you can understand how interference signals and interference patterns operate as it relates to divine mathematical order and RH timing. When there is no time, zero errors between interference signals and interference patterns and how that relates to divine right order, mathematical order, divine right timing, and divine balance between plus, slash, minus. They cancel each other out. Cancel the clocks. Living in a present moment. I'm always in the present moment, which is the speed at which we're completing a circuit that is right on time. which is mathematical order, which is mathematical timing, which is divine right balance, the balance between the poles, the polarities. Cancel the polarities out, and there is no time. Have a beautiful day. We love you all. Be good to our cellular organizations. Bye now.